She was a 10-year-old with a big voice and a big dream of stardom. But even at this ripe young age, this well-coiffed, well-rehearsed little entertainer was no Shirley Temple. This is the Britney Spears that the world knows now, full of talent, full of sexual energy, but nevertheless only 17 years old.
She's that age group, she sings, she dances, she grew up doing those things, and she wants to have a good time. And the kids her age want to too, so she's speaking right to them.
Rolling Stone magazine celebrated the age of Britney Spears with a sexy cover story. She's already had a #1 single and CD, and she's the new face and body of Tommy Hilfiger. This small-town Southern girl has truly gone big time. Still, there are those who find something just not right about striking gold selling this sexy image.
If I had a 17-year-old daughter, she would not be walking out of the house like that.
I think it's a shameful business, 17-year-old girl.
But Lori Majewski of Teen People magazine disagrees.
Britney is a very healthy young woman at age 17, and I think that's why kids are really responding to her. She's very down to earth, so she can take it a little bit to the edge without getting in any trouble.
But critics point to the Rolling Stone photos, shot by controversial photographer David LaChapelle.
Well, you know, when we shot together for Rolling Stone, I was talking to Britney, I said, you know, we don't want you to just be another one, you know, like another Debbie Gibson kind of, you know, goody two-shoes, because there's always backlash. I said, we're shooting for Rolling Stone, which has an older readership, which may resent having this teenager on the cover. I said, let's do something for them, so that they give people something to talk about, you know what I mean? And something that sets you apart from everybody else. And let's do something a little bit more provocative. And she was up for that. I mean, it's coming from her. Again, I don't impose my ideas on people. It's a collaboration. So we knew what we were doing when we did those photographs. We knew they were going to cause a little bit of a ruckus. I didn't quite know it was going to be that big of a ruckus. But I think it was smart because people really learned her name after that, and it really gave people something to talk about.
The Spears photos simply leave some critics a bit queasy, but Britney describes herself as a church-going young woman with good family values. And that, according to Rolling Stone's Joe Levy, explains her success. The girl next door with just a small touch of the devil mixed in.
I think she is allowed to be extremely religious and wear hot pants. I believe that that is the 11th commandment. And it's people with small minds that would say differently. Women have been dealing with that kind of issue for a long time, and it needs to go away.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
His name is Luke Perry, and he is currently the heartthrob of American teenage girls. You are the hottest thing in America right now for teenage girls. What is that like?
It's scary, it's dangerous, hot. Things that get hot and burn out quick, and they're gone. There's just so much ashes. That's not what I want to do.
It doesn't look like Perry will be burning out anytime soon. He stars on the television show Beverly Hills 90210, a program that focuses on teenage life at the fictitious West Beverly Hills High School. And though the school building used in the show may actually be located some 15 miles from Beverly Hills, the issues addressed in the storyline are quite real.
Dylan, what if I'm pregnant?
Then I'll do everything I can to help you and support you. Brett, it's my problem, too.
This is the real Beverly Hills High School, and contrary to popular belief, it does not lie in the 90210 zip code area, but rather in the 90212 area. Still, the real-life students who attend this Beverly Hills High say it doesn't matter that show producers have used a different school and the incorrect zip code for their program. The fact of the matter is, Beverly Hills 90210 is a hit. Do you guys get together and watch it, or what?
Every Thursday night, we all sit by the TV and wait for it to come on.
It's that good a show?
Yeah.
Perry is not the first teen idol to emerge from Beverly Hills 90210. When the program first began airing last fall, lead actor Jason Priestley gathered quite a bit of attention despite poor ratings for the show. And with the program being one of the few shows to air fresh segments during the normal summer of reruns, audience numbers have exploded. And yet a third idol, Brian Green, has emerged. But there is no doubting the fact that Luke Perry is a virtual phenomenon when it comes to sparking the interests of teenage girls. At an appearance in Plantation, Florida on August 10th, 21 girls were injured when a crowd of 10,000 screaming fans showed up for a Perry appearance. An appearance that lasted only 30 seconds when the actor was forced to leave for his own safety and that of others.
It got a little out of control and some people were injured, and that's something that should never, ever happen if they come to see me or anyone else.
Crazed mobs of female fans have been around since Sinatra first drove the girls wild. Elvis carried on the tradition until the 60s idols like Fabian came around, stirring up yet another generation of female pandemonium.
I enjoyed every minute of it. You know, I had a great time. I have no complaints.
Would you have any advice for a kid like Luke Perry who's just now experiencing this phenomenon?
Enjoy yourself. I mean, guys like Luke and the gals out there, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. You know, get a good accountant.
Thank you, Fabian. I will try and do both those things. I'm not going to have any problems keeping my head because I'm very clear on why I'm here and what I'm doing. I'm an actor doing a television show, and when the show ends, I'll try to move on to something else.
At his most recent appearance over the past weekend in San Francisco, 12,000 girls waited up to 8 hours in line just to get a peek at Luke Perry.
He's cute! I'm gonna marry Luke Perry.
Whatever happened to the new kids? Inside the Moscone Center, Perry, along with fellow heartthrob Brian Green and co-star Gabrielle Carteris, kept the fans on edge.
I think every girl in America wants to know one thing. Are you guys single?
Mad, bad, and dangerous to know. That's him. Yes, we're single.
Single guys, ladies.
When we first started going out, I thought you were so sexy.
With his good looks, down-to-earth smile, and bad boy image on TV, it looks like Luke Perry will remain hot with the girls for as long as Beverly Hills 90210 continues to air. And with the show's ratings climbing as fast as Perry's popularity, it's a good guess that both the teen idol and the program will be more than just an overnight flash in the pan. When it first debuted in the fall of 1990, the stars of Beverly Hills 90210 were complete unknowns, a handful of hopeful actors looking for a chance to make a name for themselves. Today, several of those actors are household names, teen idols with high-dollar careers of virtual certainty. Still, the actors seem to be keeping everything in perspective.
I'm an actor doing a television show, and when the show ends, I'll try to move on to something else.
For Luke Perry, who plays Dylan on the show, it's the big screen that he hopes to conquer. Perry is currently squeezing in time between 90210 segments to shoot a film called Buffy and the Vampire Slayers. But few people know that Perry had already made one movie before being cast on 90210.
Sexy suit. Arouses my Lolita complex.
It's a film called Terminal Bliss, which contains a scene in which Perry's evil character rapes a woman. Not exactly the image Perry would later develop on TV. Terminal Bliss, now several years old, is being released next month in theaters. Producers hoping to cash in on the star's skyrocketing success on TV. Meanwhile, Perry seems to be taking his success in stride.
Mind if I sit down?
No, go for it.
For Jason Priestley, another unknown turned idol, movie deals are also in the works. But Priestley prefers to spend his time between 90210 shoots playing hockey, still amazed that his hard work on TV has paid off. Like it or not, success is definitely in the stars for the stars of Beverly Hills 90210. Of course, the ultimate sign of true success in the entertainment business these days is when the toy companies begin pumping out look-alike dolls. And yes, get ready for them. The 90210 dolls are on their way. Just imagine the Barbie-sized image of Jason Priestley, Shannon Doherty, or Luke Perry beside the beds of teenagers across America. Of course, the fashions adorned on the dolls are a key selling point, since 90210 stars are virtually dictating what teens are wearing these days.
It's a very real fashion, but I think it has a lot of style about it. So from a fashion standpoint, it's a hero character that is a lot about style.
90210 star Jenny Garth expects the dolls will sell out fast.
We hope the fans like them and appreciate them. My niece, who's 5, will enjoy it.
It all started with a simple idea. targeting the teen television market with characters that teens could really relate to. Where it may lead, well, no one is willing to set any limits anytime in the foreseeable future.
Tune in, I think you will like it.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you.
They're the hottest group around, NSYNC, 5 friends from Florida who are tearing up the charts and young girls' hearts.
I love you so much, Jessie. Oh my God, you guys are so nice.
But there's more to these superstar young men than fancy dance steps. Behind the music are some of the biggest hearts in the business, and they're about to make one special child's dream come true.
Are you crying? I think she is.
Meet Tori Ackley, a teenager who touches your heart with her music. But life isn't always sweet music for this pretty 16-year-old. Born with a rare condition called Williams syndrome, Tori struggles with the simplest tasks, like math and understanding directions. Still, some call this unusual affliction a mixed blessing. You see, many with Williams syndrome have a surprising passion and talent for music. And at a camp for these special people, I learned the most intriguing aspect of those battling Williams syndrome. It's their outgoing personalities, often called cocktail party syndrome.
Hi, guys. I like your shirt. Are you married?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness.
They steal your heart with their warmth and affection.
Williams syndrome people are very beautiful, unique, strong, and very lovable.
Still, Tori knows she's not like other kids. Her life is often filled with loneliness. To get past her pain, Tori taught herself to play piano and even writes her own words and music.
What do you want the world to know about Tori Ackley, the up-and-coming musician?
Is that I'm not just a person who's different. I'm someone who's really caring and nice to people, and that I can really help them when they're very, very lonely and upset.
With your music?
With my music.
But Tori dreams of more. She dreams of being a star and being with stars. And while we can't make all of Tori's dreams come true, this is one we can handle. Enter NSYNC, 5 fantastic guys who never forget their fans.
How you doing? Good?
But on this day, these talented boys are waiting to meet one special fan, Tori.
And what's the big dream for Tori Ackley?
When we arrived at Tori's Massachusetts home, she thought we'd come just to hear her play, but we soon told her the truth.
Because I haven't been completely honest with you today. Because we're not only here to spend some time at your house, but we've got a group of people that really, really want to hear you play. And you know what their name is?
What?
InSync.
Oh my God.
Soon Tori and her parents were loading up the car, getting ready for the chance of a lifetime. And when her dream finally came true, she handled it like a pro.
Nice to meet you.
As thousands got ready to watch NSYNC perform, Tori performed for them.
Tori learned this in one day.
One day.
No sheet music, nothing.
So you play by ear? Wow.
She played the boys one of their hit songs, and the rest was musical magic. While Tori can play just about anything by ear, it was her own songs, music that comes from her heart, that won the hearts of these boys.
It just comes natural for you, huh?
Yep.
That's great.
Who taught you?
I taught myself how to actually.
That's great. Really? That is such a gift.
Yeah.
Impressed with Tori's passion for music, the boys gave her encouragement she'll cherish forever.
You should always follow your dreams. You know, God gave you a talent, and, you know, this is it.
Music business
keep going.
is a big business, and there's room for everybody. And I'm sure there's plenty of room for you, sweetie. I think you are a wonderfully talented human being.
But for Tori, it isn't fame that matters most. She has more important things on her mind.
How often do you get to see your parents?
That's a very good question. Yeah. Since we are on the road a lot, it is hard. What we do is we bring them with us. If we can't be with them, we bring them with us.
Tori finished her perfect day in the front row as NSYNC wowed some 20,000 screaming girls. It was a day that reminded this special teenager that no matter what challenges life brings, dreams really can come true.
This day happened and I'll never forget it. Thanks, Stacey.
It's hard to avoid Jenny McCarthy these days. The former hostess of MTV's Singled Out was at Macy's department store in New York City Tuesday, lending her super sexy image to a 70s classic, Candy's shoes.
The whole 70s thing is really big lately, and I'm really glad. I'm really proud. Get the shoe, man. I polished my toenails.
Hundreds of fans lined up hoping to get an autograph. The first 200 were lucky enough to get their picture taken with Jenny.
Thanks, bye. Bye, cutie.
These days, the brassy ex-Playboy centerfold is keeping very busy, but there's always time to check out her singled-out replacement, Carmen Electra.
It's a hard job to do, you know, to rustle around 50 guys and 50 girls, so I think she's doing a good job.
But Jenny's career hasn't suffered since leaving the popular Singled Out. She recently signed a lucrative sitcom deal with NBC and is hosting her own MTV variety show that begins next month.
I've been working every day, 17 hours a day on this show, and it's kind of like Saturday Night Live meets Beavis and Butthead. So, you should like it.
In 1991, the New Kids on the Block were the richest kids on the block, the highest paid entertainers in America, and their lead singer was Donnie Wahlberg. But now, the pop star's singing a different tune.
He's not here, Crane. He ain't here, man.
Donnie Wahlberg is an actor.
There came a point in my life where I got tired of doing the same old thing, and I knew I had to make a change. And, you know, that's what I did.
Action! When it comes to acting, the 27-year-old is once again the new kid on the block. But Donnie's career is on a roll.
Wait a second, man. Clark, you never said nothing to me about killing no kids.
He co-starred in Ransom last year as Cubby, the good-hearted kidnapper. And now he's wrapped up a new thriller called Body Count, along with funny man John Leguizamo.
And here's Donnie. Just practicing my dance routine for me and John. We got a sequence where we just dance.
Wahlberg has hung up his dancing shoes for now, but back in 1985, music was the way out of Dorchester, a tough neighborhood in Boston where the then 15-year-old was growing up.
A lot of people don't make it out of Boston, and when you're growing up in the streets of Boston, you start getting in trouble. I mean, crime finds you, you know.
Body Count's director, Robert Patton Spruill, grew up with Wahlberg.
Donnie definitely was a scrapper back in the day, you know.
Was he a bad kid? Never. Never.
Donnie's mom, Alma, says her son's drive, and yes, maybe some toughness, helped make the New Kids on the Block the unimaginable success they became, by 1991 earning $115 million.
The truth is they were good kids. Yes, Donnie was like the wild one, and maybe a little bit more daring, you know, to try this or that, but they were growing up through that.
Even with Donnie's reported public brawling and a charge of hotel room arson, which was later dropped, his bad boy reputation didn't seem to hurt. Donnie helped make a star of his younger brother, Marky Mark Wahlberg, by producing his first album. But by 1994, Donnie was feeling burnt out, and he retired from performing.
I think it was just time to move on, you know, for New Kids on the Block. I think we had sort of done all that we could do for the time being.
Tank was coming after you.
Flash forward 2 years, and now Donnie Wahlberg is playing tough for a living. First in a straight-to-video film called Bullet, then in his well-received role in Ransom, and next as a robber in Body Count.
You know, he had his rumble days, but that's also what makes him so appealing. Everyone likes the tougher guy, the sweet, tough guy.
But doing Ransom did leave the new actor with one problem.
I saw Ransom with Marky, and, you know, Marky has a great physique, and you know, we were watching it, and when I first came on camera, on the screen, Marky said, "Wow, you look like Fat Joe." I had gained so much weight and stuff that I just decided again to make a change in my life. And I lost 19 pounds, got a few muscles now, and I feel better, you know.
So now is it time for New Kids on the Block to get back together? After all, that other former kids group, New Edition, has done it.
I play golf and work out with Johnny Gill from New Edition. And, you know, he always tells me, man, it's time for your reunion too. You could do it. But it's time for the New Edition reunion. It's not time for New Kids on the Block reunion. You know, someday maybe.
If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friend.
Get ready for the invasion of the Spice Girls.
Friendship never ends.
Their debut song, Wannabe, is #1 on the Billboard charts for the second week in a row. Wannabe and the album Spice have sold 2.6 million copies in the U.S. alone. So how are the Spice Girls reacting to their overnight success?
That's it. You've got it. My expression, lost the words. I'm amazed.
If you wanna be my lover.
When I get up on stage, you know, and you get like 20,000 people screaming at you, I just think, wow, this is just me and my friends, and they like what we're doing.
Who are the Spice Girls? They're a quintet of spunky British ladies ranging in age from 21 to 25. They've been described as a kind of female New Kids on the Block.
The Spice Girls are perhaps the greatest marketing ploy in pop music since the Monkees. Somebody sat down at a drawing board and said, let's create an all-girl group, and they've gone out and done it.
So to learn the details of the creation of the Spice Girls, we traveled to their native England.
Every day they came in here with a mirrored wall, and they could dance and practice, and they basically lived in this room.
Ian Lee runs Trinity Studios, a small music rehearsal space outside of London, where the Spice Girls were formed back in 1994. It all started when 400 Spice Girl wannabes showed up for an open call for an all-girl pop band. Inside Edition has the exclusive video of the Spice Girl auditions.
Nothing exciting about them at all, really. Looking back on the auditions, you actually wonder, you know, what it was that got them chosen.
Back in '94, super cool Spice Girl Melanie C was just plain old Melanie Chisholm. Spice Girl Victoria Adams was belting out a show tune from Cabaret. And Spice Girl Melanie B, who critics say has the best pipes of the group, was Melanie Brown. Ian says after the 5 lucky Spice Girls were picked, they didn't exactly make beautiful music together.
They didn't know how to harmonise, so it was not too pleasant in the first few weeks.
But they had star quality.
They had that bubble, they had that fun, they had that interactive appeal between each other.
The manager who molded the Eurythmics in the early 80s polished up the Spice Girls and got them signed with Virgin Records. They had a hit first in Japan, and within the last 6 months, Wannabe has become a smash around the world.
They have a certain electricity about them, and even their record company don't quite always know what they're going to do.
Yes, part of the appeal of the Spice Girls is their spontaneity.
Spice Girls never relaxed. No.
Something this blushing interviewer learned the hard way. Yes, the Spice Girls act just like a rowdy bunch of girlfriends. Even as double winners at last month's Brit Awards, England's answer to the Grammys, they were up to their usual hijinks.
You know, I was looking for Best Male Artist, but I don't think I'm gonna get it, do you?
If you haven't noticed, the Spice Girls are not going for a girl next door image. One sports a pierced tongue, another a nose ring, and most of them have tattoos.
It's superb marketing. It's naughty but nice.
Only time will tell if the Spice Girls will be one-hit wonders. But even if they are just a flash in the pan, these gals are going to have fun during their 15 minutes of fame.
If you wanna be my lover. Quit playing games with my heart. Quit playing games with my heart.
These 5 young men are not playing games. Kevin Richardson, AJ McLean, Nick Carter, Ryan B. Rock Luttrell, and Howard Howie D. Duro are the Backstreet Boys.
We don't have a lead singer. We all sing, so I'm just a member. That's all I am.
They may be the hottest singing group in the music world today that most adult Americans have never heard of.
We're from Europe, and they're really famous there.
The Backstreet Boys have been heartthrobs to teenage girls throughout Europe for more than 2 years.
MTV, thank you.
They won the coveted MTV European Viewers' Choice Award in 1996. beating out both the Spice Girls and Oasis.
Ding dong.
The harmonic sound isn't exactly new. But some critics say the Backstreet Boys style is fresh.
It definitely has that 90s twist to it. It's got that R&B style, it's got a heavy beat, and it's got a lot of energy in a way that I don't think a lot of groups have.
The group, ages 17 to 25, are from Orlando, Florida and Lexington, Kentucky. They got together through their common interest, music.
I heard that there was a vocal group that was looking for another singer, so I hooked up with AJ, Nick, and Howie, and then I brought my cousin Brian into it, and we've been together now for almost 5 years.
The boys figured they'd have more success launching in Europe, and so far, they've reportedly sold more than 10 million albums in 35 countries, sold out a concert tour of Canadian cities in less than an hour, and have starred in 7 music videos.
There's no place like home.
Now they're trying to make it big in the USA. This past spring, they released their first American album. One song soared as high as #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts. Late last month, they completed a whirlwind 10-day U.S. tour.
The turnout has been great, the crowds have been great, it's awesome.
While their harmonizing has received mostly praise, early reviews of their live U.S. performances have been mixed. And some critics say the appeal is strictly for the kiddies. But those kids, the ones who buy the albums and the concert tickets, are already saying the Backstreet Boys are here to stay.
Oh, they're gonna be big for a while. This is the summer of Ricky Martin. Not since Elvis has the sight of swiveling hips caused such a stir.
So hot, beautiful, I love him.
A lot of people telling you how good you are, but you can start flying and it could be very dangerous, very painful when you start coming down.
But the loco scene that follows the 27-year-old Puerto Rican singer is showing no sign of coming down. Ricky's even won a Grammy and counts Madonna as one of his biggest fans.
Hi, baby.
Hi, love. How are you?
We thought it'd be fun to take a look at this heartthrob before Ricky Mania hit.
Look at me. Hi!
We spent time with Ricky over the last few years, and looking at our old tapes, you can clearly see a star being born.
You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist.
A few years ago, Ricky could never have known the incredible success waiting for him right around the corner. But Ricky's keeping his cool, maybe because he's been groomed for superstardom all of his adult life. After all, he was only 12 when he joined the Latin group Menudo.
It gave me the opportunity to know what I really wanted in life.
Journalist Kathleen Tracy is the author of the new book, Ricky Martin, Red Hot and on the Rise.
He has been working towards this moment really ever since he left Menudo. And it's not totally by accident. A lot of this is really planning on his part.
Like all the Menudo boys, Ricky was booted from the group at age 17. But while the other members drifted into obscurity, Ricky was on a mission and became the biggest Latin star around. Lori Majewski is a senior editor at Teen People.
Around the world, he was probably as big as Madonna for the longest time.
But Ricky wanted to make it in America. In the early 90s, he went to Hollywood, where he won a part on General Hospital as a Latin lover.
It's time for you to trust me.
During his General Hospital days, Ricky gave our cameras an all-access pass behind the scenes, from the rehearsals
I am not prepared to live my life without you.
to the tapings.
Hey, you ready?
Ricky was thrilled to be a Latin star, making a name for himself on American TV.
The adrenaline is amazing. I don't know, I enjoy it very much, and I think this is what I want to be doing forever.
Ricky's old General Hospital co-star, Carrie Shane.
I think he was in a time of experimenting at that point in his life and really figuring out what he wanted to do.
In my life.
The next time we met up with Ricky was in 1996, when another of his dreams came true.
I am one with the gods and heaven is near.
Ricky was performing on Broadway in the hit musical Les Miserables.
It feels amazing to reach one of my goals, but it opens new doors to things that I want to keep doing. Music thrills me. Music is something that I don't want to stop doing ever.
And it's with music that Ricky was to become a household name outside of Latin America. Last year, he recorded his very first album in English, and when Living La Vida Loca was unleashed, it went straight to #1. Ricky's crossover success is no surprise to his old co-star.
He can do whatever he wants to do because he's got that thing.
And now Ricky's dream of only a few years ago is a reality.
I want to bring my music all over the world.